The simple formula for lasting results starts with having a clear, specific goal. So, on your fitness journey, regarding your fitness journey, consider starting with a clear, specific goal, ideally like a body weight number and a body fat percent number. The reason for this is that it dials, you know exactly what it is. Your brain has something specific to target to. So think about it right now in your mind, that if you could have it any kind of way you wanted it to be, between now and say a year from now, you could snap your fingers and have the physique of your dreams. What would that be like for you? Ideally, narrow it down to a specific body weight and a specific body fat percent. Now, once you have that, consider this affirmation / prayer. Goes, I am happy and grateful now that I am. You plug in your body weight and your body fat percent number. I use myself as an example. You just plug in your number. I am happy and grateful now that I am at least 190 pounds and at or below 10% body fat. That's the basis of the affirmation that I teach. And you can even add to it, and I want you to add more to it, but specifically when it comes to your fitness goals, ideally have a clear and specific goal. Ideally, some kind of number goal, like a body weight goal and a body fat percent goal. You can use clothes size goals. There's lots of ways you can reference it. But I feel what's really important with fitness and goals is to have a clear, specific goal. That's usually like a number, like some kind of thing you can say, well, that's the number. Right? Now, once you have that, let's look at the big 5. Training, nutrition, recovery, supplementation, and mindset. Now, on your journey to your goal, these are the 5 things: training, nutrition, recovery, supplementation, mindset. Let's take a look at training. Okay. So when it comes to training, I feel it's important to have a combination, basically a combination of strength type exercising and cardiovascular type exercising. Imagine for a moment that we have a twin engine airplane and you're flying along and you have 2 engines, right? One engine is strength training program. One engine is cardiovascular training program. Ideally, yes, you want both engines going on the airplane really strong. That's the idea. So set up a good strength training program, whether it's 3 times a week, 4 times, 5 times, whatever your range is. I've seen it from 2 to 6, but just do something. Plug it in, be consistent with your strength and with your cardio. Now, when it comes to building out long-term a training program, I have these 5 principles of a good training program. I feel that's important: proper form, variety, intensity, proper training principles, and consistency. Let's take a look at proper form. Why would proper form be so important? Couple main reasons, really, if you think about it. One is so that you don't get an injury, and that's really huge because an injury is going to set you back. It can be really frustrating. But then also, too, when you do the proper form, you're getting the most out of the exercise that you can possibly get out of. You're using your time to the fullest, best benefit. If you get in the gym and you slop around with improper form, you think you're being productive, but it's not as productive as it could be as if you were executing perfect form. So consider mastering form. How do you do it? You can either get one-on-one with a personal trainer. You can do like join my personal fitness concierge service and get specific teaching and coaching. Or you can just go on YouTube and, create a workout. Have a workout that you're going to use. Matter of fact, workouts, have a app that is free for everyone. It's a download for free, whether you have Apple or Android. If you go to the Google Play Store or the Apple Store Connect and search for Workouts for All, the number 4, Workouts for All, no spaces, and look for that logo. You can download the app and get free workouts. 4-day workout, 3-day workout, 5-day, just if you have dumbbells workout, no equipment needed workout. I'm adding new workouts every week, and it's a free service. So you take those and you study what, in this case, there's videos to demonstrate the form. So ideally, and that's how I learned. I actually learned a lot through magazines and books. But with the video, even on YouTube, you can look up an exercise like walking lunge or chest press or whatever and study it and then try it on your own. It may not be perfect, but you just work it out. You do the best that you can. Study proper form. Master proper form. It's huge and it's worth it. The second piece of a good training program is variety. Now, why would that be important? Why would you want to switch it up occasionally? Why not just do the same workout every year? Well, eventually you might get bored. I know, even myself, if I do the same workout over and over and over, it can get a little boring. I want to change it up, do different things. And that's the great thing about weight training and strength training is there are hundreds and probably thousands of different ways to do strength training. Just find something that you can progress at and get good at and that it challenges you and helps you with the strength. Whatever you're taking on, master the form, study the form. And it's through repetition, that's how you're going to get good at it. So we talked about proper form, variety. Now let's look at intensity. What comes to mind when you think about intensity in an exercise program? What comes to mind? Challenging yourself, right? Pushing yourself. So imagine for a moment that we're doing a chest press and we're going for 12 repetitions. We get to 9, 10, 11, 12, and we barely get that 12th repetition. What's the most beneficial part of that set? The first few reps or the last few reps? Be the last few, right? And why? That's where the overload occurs. That's where the breakdown occurs. So make sure that you're including intensity into your training program. That intensity, that's what stimulates the muscle growth. When we're pushing it and straining our muscles get under that stress and it has to adapt. And how it adapts is by, over the next 2 or 3 days, growing back more muscle. It's kind of like, imagine if you go out in the sun and you get a suntan. Your body is adapting to the level of the suntan, right? It's the same thing when you're stimulating that muscle in the gym or wherever. You're stimulating it, and how it handles it is it grows back stronger, better, right? So intensity. So we talked about proper form, variety, intensity. Number 4 is proper training principles. There are lots of different training principles. I encourage you to, one, download the app because I'm sharing lots of principles there. But just in general, you can do a Google search or a ChatGPT search and look up training principles. And how do I include different training principles into my routine? Things like compound sets, supersets, drop sets, down the racks, 21s, rest pause. I don't know if you've heard of any of these or not, but these are the kind of things that you can sprinkle into your training program over time and really give you extra results, keep you making progress long term. So we talked about proper form, variety, intensity, proper training principles, and last but not least, consistency. So what do you think about when you think about consistency and its importance in your exercise program? It's huge. It is so huge. Imagine that you have you, and say you have a twin of you, and you both have the same goal. You commit to a 4-day-a-week workout program. You commit to eating healthy, getting your rest. The other person starts off that way, but then misses a workout here and there, has some junk food here and there, doesn't always get the full amount of recovery, the full amount of sleep every night. At the end of the year, who is going to have the best results? The consistent version of yourself. Power of consistency is very, very important. So consider deciding what your plan is going to be. Decide. I'm going to work out this many days a week. I'm going to do this kind of workout. And then implement. Sometimes that's the hardest part, but implement it. If you need help, that's what I'm here for. I have different ways to serve you. Just reach out and start with a phone call. That'd be huge. If we did a consultation together, and that's what I offer to everyone. So if you're interested in a consultation, just message me and let's talk. So with a good training program, proper form, variety, intensity, proper training principles, and last but not least, consistency. Now let's look at nutrition. Imagine for a moment that we want to build a beautiful 2-story house from scratch. And imagine that we only have half the materials necessary to build the house. How far are we going to get? Part of the way, halfway, right? The foods that we eat are the same that are like supplies that are building the house. The foods that we eat are like the supplies that build our body. What I recommend considering: 50% fruits and vegetables, 25% whole grains, and 25% plant-based proteins like legumes, lentils, nuts, and seeds. I feel like when it comes to nutrition, our body's affected in basically 4 different ways: metabolism, energy levels, metabolism, and insulin levels. Now imagine for a moment that we have a fireplace. And on one hand, we have a stack of oak wood, and on the other hand, we have a stack of paper. Now, not including kindling and getting the fire started, but if we had to choose between the oak wood or the paper to burn in your fireplace, which one would you pick and why? Well, most of us will pick the oak wood, and why? Because it's going to burn longer, slower, more efficiently. The papers are going to burn fast. So foods like fruits and vegetables and whole grains and legumes, lentils, nuts, and seeds burn like oak wood. Junk food, sugar, alcohol, processed foods burn more like paper. So consider having more oak wood type foods in your nutrition. Fruits and vegetables, whole grains, legumes, lentils, nuts, and seeds. Number 3 is recovery. When it comes to your recovery, let's generally talking about sleep. I feel like basically for all of us humans, 7.5 to 9 hours sleep with 2 hours of deep, 2 hours of REM is what's generally recommended. Consider having the same sleep schedule if you want to optimize. So, 8 to 5, 9 to 6, 7 to 4, 6 to 3, whatever is your schedule is like. But ideally, try to do the same schedule consistently. And another thing you can do is ideally time your last meal at least minimally 2 hours before go to sleep time. So if you're going to sleep at 9, you're done no matter what at 7. But then once you have that mastered, and you want to optimize, consider pulling it back 4 hours before sleep time. So if you go to bed at 9, your last meal will be at 5 or 6. You can handle, but it's different techniques that can help you sleep better and even have better health. Number 4 is supplementation. I feel like there are basically 2 basic categories of supplements: nutritional supplements and enhancement performance supplements. A nutritional supplements is like protein shakes, bars, those kind of things. And enhancement performance supplements is like creatine or even prescription medications can fall into this category. But they're supplements. Consider the basics: training, nutrition, recovery, then supplements, and last but not least is the mindset. And that's what really helps run the whole show. Keep in mind that our minds control our bodies, not the other way around. If you decide you're going to work out 4 days a week, you're going to eat healthy, you're going to get your sleep, you're going to be consistent, your mind decides that, and you tell your body, well, this is what we're doing. We don't skip out on the workout or not get that meal in that we wanted to, or not get the amount of sleep that we needed and said that we were going to get in. The mind runs the show. So you decide your path, your training path, your nutrition, recovery, supplements, mindset. You decide your path and then get it done. Follow through. Take action. Now, sometimes I realize sometimes we can know what to do, but then it's still hard to implement. That's why I invite you into a complimentary phone call or Zoom call with me so we can go over your goals, find out your history, and I can share with you how I can serve you to your goal. How to do that's going to be in the description of the video. Text me. My number's in the description. Fill out the form. However you got to get it so we can get a hold of each other and set up the initial complimentary consultation. So it'd be worth it. Another thing you can do if you're interested is download the free app. Go to, whether you have Apple or Android, go to your Google Play Store or Android or the Apple Store Connect. Search for workouts, the number 4, ALL, workouts for all. It'll be in the description as well. And look for this logo. Download the app, set up a free account. There's workouts being added every week. 3-day workout, 4-day workout, couples workout, TRX workout, home workout, no equipment needed workout, dumbbell workout. It's all there for free, complimentary. It's workouts for all. So I want you to have some good workouts. And I'm building up a great library, adding new workouts weekly. Be blessed. That's it. And new content every Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Be blessed. And remember that health is wealth. Without our health, it doesn't matter what earthly possessions we have. Good health is wealth. So consider that and follow through with the big 5: training, nutrition, recovery, supplementation, and mindset. See you on the next one.